All right, guys. Let's quickly talk about the major biomes confined in Nigeria, or what we call the major vegetations we find in Nigeria. Okay. Nigeria is a small country. Let's say a small country, actually the largest black nation in Africa, and it has about six vegetations or six biotic community. So six different type of vegetation. So this video might probably explain why there's too much rainfall, too much sunshine in your community. So quickly, there are six vegetations in Nigeria. I'll start from the south to the north. Okay, down in the south, we have this vegetation here is known as a mangrove swamp. A mangrove swamp. Okay, there's a little vegetation here close to the mangrove swamp. Okay, this guy close to the mangrove swamp. This guy close to the mangrove swamp here is known as a freshwater swamp. Freshwater swamp. Okay, this vegetation is called the tropical rainforest. So this is the tropical rainforest. Why this is the Guinea Savanna. Okay, this is the Guinea Savanna. So this vegetation is called the Guinea Savanna, and this one is called the Northern Guinea Savanna, or what we popularly call the Sudan Savanna. All right, the Sudan Savanna, and this is the Sahel Savanna. Okay, Sahel Savanna. So this is the Sahel Savanna also. Okay, now quickly, let me quickly explain why these vegetations are important and their differences. Okay, now this vegetation called the mangrove swamp usually have brackish water. I'll start with that. This mangrove swamp, South Nigeria, they have brackish water. This is the vegetation that is leading to the Atlantic Ocean. So all here is the Atlantic Ocean. So we have the Atlantic Ocean all over this place. So this is the vegetation leading to the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, so this guy is made up of brackish water, a water that is a little bit salty, but not as salty as marine water. Many also call it the water here estuarine. We have estuarine water here. So this water here is fresh water. Okay, but together, these two guys, these two vegetations here are together known as the mangrove forest. Okay, they usually have forest vegetations too. Their forests have broad leaves and trees. But the difference between the forest here or the trees here usually have trees that have modified roots to stay on land or on top of land. So their roots don't usually go deep into the soil because they are rich. It's a waterlogged environment. It's a waterlogged environment, swampy region. So this one it's a little bit different from the tropical rainforest. Those of us that are already have heard of tropical rainforest. Now, yeah, above it is a tropical rainforest. This is a dense forest. Okay, it has very dense vegetations and tall trees like the acacia, the Iroko trees. So tall trees are found in this tropical rainforest. This tropical rainforest and this swampy forest, they both have tall trees, but this one has marshy areas, and the water here is a estuarine. This mangrove swamp, or this swampy region, it has more rainfall than the tropical rainforest. So this mangrove region, mangrove forest. Remember, what makes up the mangrove forest? Mangrove forest is made up of the mangrove swamp and the freshwater swamp. Okay, so these guys they make up the mangrove forest, and the mangrove forest have more rainfall than the tropical rainforest. Just that the tropical rainforest have more dense vegetations than these guys. Now these guys have tree plants that can grow on top of water or on land. Their plants are said to have aerial stems or aerial roots, pardon me, roots that can grow on top of water. While these ones they have roots that can penetrate deep into the soil. Okay, for this tropical rainforest, these guys, the leaves of these guys are broader than the leaves of these ones. Okay, the leaves in the tropical rainforest or the leaves of the trees in the tropical rainforest are broader than the leaves of the tree in the mangrove swamp. Okay, the organism we can find in the tropical rainforest includes squirrels, snakes, monkeys, um, 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 we have some wild animals like the elephant, also in the tropical rainforest. While in the mangrove swamp, this mangrove forest, you can have crab, those aquatic organisms, mussels. Usually, organisms that can stay in the marine environment usually stay in the mangrove swamp. Okay, the oysters, the barnacle. Also, we have squirrels, snakes, and so on and so forth. They are found in this forest also. Okay, but we have more of the aquatic organisms because most of these areas are waterlogged. Okay, quickly, of- which which state belongs to this mangrove swamp? The mangrove swamp basically is found in Lagos State. Please take note of this: Lagos State, Bayelsa State, Akwa Ibom State, and River State, and a little part of Cross River. Okay, Lagos State, Akwa Ibom, and Bayelsa, Rivers, and little part of Cross River. That's where you can find the mangrove swamp. Then the Delta State and River State mainly, the type of mangrove there is a freshwater swamp. Okay, so we have freshwater swamp in Delta. So Delta still have some state can have two or more vegetations. Delta is a state that also have tropical, that also consists of tropical rainforest, and Delta State is a state that also consists of tropical rainforest, the freshwater swamp and the mangrove swamp. So Delta State is more of swampy region, but freshwater swamp mainly. So okay, so if you even check, you can check anywhere. The freshwater swamp is usually found in the Delta region of Nigeria. Okay, now the tropical rainforest, they have a rainfall of about, these guys tropical rainforest, they have a rainfall of about 2,000 millimeters, or what they call 200 cm cube and above rainfall per year. So why these guys have about more than 2,500, that's the swampy region, more than 2,500 millimeters of rainfall. Okay, 2,500 millimeters of rainfall. Okay, which can also be converted to cm. You can write to cm and drop it in the comment section. Okay, that's that for the tropical rainforest. That's that for the tropical rainforest. These guys, all right, for the Guinea Savanna is actually located in the middle belt part of the country or down to the south. Okay, it's usually called the Guinea Forest or the Mosaic. Now, why is it called the Mosaic? It's called the Mosaic because it's a savanna that is it's a vegetation or a biome that cuts across forest to savanna or forest to grassland. It has a variety of vegetations that ranges from forest to grassland. So it's called the Guinea forest or the mosaic. Okay, which state do you find the Guinea Savanna? You can find the Guinea Savanna in Oyo State. You can find the Guinea Savanna in Kwara State. You can find the Guinea Savanna in Ebonyi at the south. Niger State, Benue State, Benue, Abuja, Nasarawa. Okay, some parts of Jos and some parts of Bauchi. The Bauchi is more to the Sudan Savanna. Okay, this Guinea Savanna is usually called the Southern Guinea Savanna. It is the largest biome in Nigeria or the largest vegetation in Nigeria. It has more states, it cut across more states than the other vegetations. Okay, it can cut across states in the southwest, even some, I think some part of Ekiti. Okay, still contain this vegetation. Now, what are the characteristics of a Guinea Savanna? Guinea Savanna ranges from tall trees to tall grasses. Okay, tall trees to tall grasses to some short trees and shrubs. Okay, tall trees, tall grasses to some short trees and shrubs. So as you move to the northern part of the savannah, the northern part of the Guinea Savanna, you tend to see more from now grasses than tall trees. Okay, now the trees are becoming shorter, they become shrubs. So vegetation is very vast. Ranges from tall trees. All right, the Guinea Savanna is made up of characterized with tall trees, usually to the south, to short trees and shrubs to the northern part. But in general, we will say it is more like characterized with shorter trees compared to the tropical rainforest, with tall grasses. Okay, the grasses here it has tall grasses and relatively shorter trees. But as you go north in the vegetation becomes more sparse, more sparse. Now, it is relatively hotter than the tropical rainforest and have less of rainfall, which already established already. What state we've talked about the state you can find these vegetations, and it is the largest vegetation in Nigeria. Largest vegetation in Nigeria, it is termed the mosaic because it ranges from forest to less sparse vegetations, from forest to grasses, forest to tall grasses. So that's the vegetation. So it's usually called the Guinea forest. Okay. There's a island usually characterized with most savanna. Okay, there's an island characterized with most savanna. That island is usually known as the Afro-Alpine. Okay, such vegetation in Nigeria is called the montane vegetation. So over here is the montane vegetation. And the mountain vegetation has a higher rainfall than the Guinea Savanna itself, or than the Southern Guinea Savanna. You should know that this is Southern Guinea Savanna. Okay, and the mountain vegetation is an extension of the Afro-Alpine, the islands of the Guinea, found in West Africa in the islands of Cameroon. Okay, this mountain vegetation in Nigeria is located in Taraba State, and actually the exact part of Taraba State is the areas of the Mambila Plateau, the Mambila Plateau. So, the Mambila Plateau, pardon me, my plateau, in areas of the Mambila Plateau, that's of the Mambila Plateau. Again, into a plateau. Okay, areas of the Mambila Plateau. Okay, all right. Now, this Montane vegetation, they are characterized with islands. They have moderate rainfall. They are much more colder than the Guinea Savanna because they are located on islands. Okay, they have a more temperate vegetations than the Guinea Savanna, and rainfall is more intense than in the Guinea Savanna. So this is the characteristic of the Mambila Plateau. It's just a section of the Guinea Savanna. They are usually termed the islands of the Guinea Savanna. In larger context, we call them the Afro-Alpine vegetation. So that's that for the Guinea Savanna and the islands of the Guinea Savanna, or that's that for the Guinea Forest or the mosaic vegetation. Now, moving on to the north, the more northern part of Nigeria, we have the Sudan Savanna. The Sudan Savanna is popularly referred to as the Northern Guinea Savanna. Now, the Northern Guinea Savanna has a alter it is relatively hotter than the Guinea Savanna. It is the climate is more intense. That's what to use than the Guinea Savanna. We can find this. Let me quickly say the states we can find it in states like Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, Yola, some part of Adamawa, Borno, Jigawa State, Jigawa, Zamfara State, some part of Zamfara State. So these are the areas. Even Kaduna, some parts of Kaduna, we have the Northern Guinea Savanna there. Okay. We look at those are the common states you can find. They are more above, they are more in the north, the northeast and the northwestern states, Zamfara, Jigawa, and so on and so forth. You can find this Sudan Savanna there. Now, Sudan Savanna usually have a rainfall that is much more lower than the Guinea Savanna. The rainfall of the Sudan Savanna is relatively 500 to 1,000 millimeter per annum. That is quite low compared to the 2,500 of the Mangrove Swamp. So rainfall is less intense. Now, the sun or the extent at which the drought season is higher than every other part of any other savanna I've looked at so far. Okay, or any other vegetation look at. Now, it usually have some short, very short trees, very short trees. They are referred to as shrubs. Now, these trees are deciduous. Okay, they are deciduous trees. What do I mean by deciduous trees? Also, deciduous trees are found in the southern Guinea Savanna, but more in the Sudan Savanna. Deciduous trees are trees that can shed their leaves during drought season. Okay, these trees are fire resistant in the Sudan Savanna. So they are fire resistant, they have more deciduous trees. They have plant trees like the acacia, the date palm, the baobab. The baobab, yes, baobab is a very unique industrial plant that has a lot of uses. Okay, now the plants here should be noted that they have a thick, they have this the boundary, they have a thick, these plants here, they have thick stem, usually succulent, to withstand to usually store water that they use during dry seasons. Okay, so during dry season they are deciduous, they can resist fire and drought. The plants I said includes acacia, baobab, date palm. Okay, why the trees you can find here or the plants mainly you can find here? You can have the isubelina, we have the locust beans, the oil beans in the Guinea Savanna. Okay, that's that for the plants you find here. Now, the animals you find in the Sudan Savanna, the animals you can find in the Sudan Savanna, the Northern Guinea Savanna. The animals in the Northern Guinea Savanna and the animals in the Guinea Savanna are similar, very similar. So we have both similar animals to common savanna. And quickly, it should be noted because the type of plant they have also will determine the distribution of the animals. All right, these guys have tall grasses. Tall grasses. When you have tall grasses, you tend to have the likes of zebra, the likes of antelope, herbivores like antelope, zebra. Okay. When you have short grasses, you have to have the likes of herbivores like the cassette, the gazette, the gazelle, and so on and so forth. So, but these guys, please take note, they have shorter, short grasses. Vegetation is sparse. Yeah, vegetation is more intense. Though vegetation is also sparse here, but we have more vegetations here. The grasses here are tall grasses. A little bit of tall trees and more of short trees. Here we have more of short grasses. Okay, animals are common there. So the savannah, obviously, the Sudan Savanna, the Guinea Savanna usually have lions, tigers. Okay, they are prone to this vegetation. The buffaloes. Okay, the we have the uh, jaguar, the likes of leopard or leopards. Okay, then we have herbivores like zebra, antelope, gazelle, and the wild dogs, and so on and so forth. Usually, so most of those wildlife you see on natural worlds or are usually found in the savannah. Though, though they can be found in rainforest. They can be found in rainforest. It just depend on the vegetation. But we have more of those wildlife on the savannah. On the savannah, don't forget, it's also known as the grassland. Moving to the last vegetation we have in Nigeria, the very last vegetation we have in this country is the Sahel Savanna. This is the savannah, or this is the grassland more prone to desert encroachment. Okay, we have more of we have more of fire resistant and drought resistant trees and plants in this savannah. Okay, grasses is very sparse. Usually have relative grasses. The vegetation more susceptible to desert encroachment. Grasses is sparse. Okay, if you there's a forest here around the Borno State. It's called the Sambisa forest. Now in the Sambisa forest we have more of plants that have spines instead of leaves. We don't have leaves. I get that. So unlike here in the Guinea Savanna, the leaves might still be broad, though we have broader leaves here. Yeah, the leaves might still be broad. Here, the leaves are becoming more deciduous. They can be worn out during dry season. But here we have plants that have um, leaves that are reduced to spines. You have more tons, tons producing plants. So the Sambisa forest is it's not a good place to stay in because you have a lot of plants with thorns and so on and so forth. Now the plant that can stay here, plant that can stay in the Sahel Savannah include um, um, the aloe plant, the cactus. They have thick and succulent stem. They can resist when there's fire outbreak. They are there. All right. So those are the kind of plants we can have there. Now, the Sahel Savannah is found in what state? Most importantly, Sahel Savannah is found in what state? And it's found in state like Sokoto to the west. Into Sokoto, many parts of Sokoto is in the Sudan Savannah. Part like Sokoto, we have state like Zamfara, some parts of Zamfara around here. Now we have state like Yobe, Adamawa, not really Adamawa, Yobe, Borno. So those states are where you can find the Sahel Savannah. So hope these lessons have been very, or this lesson, pardon me, has been very interesting and you enjoyed it. So if you do like what you're seeing, just hit the subscribe button. Until the next video, it's a bye. God bless you.